Hello everyone, Scott here and welcome to this mini masterclass. This is all about the 15 rules for being a professional on video calls. And I will caveat this before I give you the 15 rules, the 15 essentials and must-dos, that I am taking this training. This isn't a video call, this is just me doing some extra training. I am on the walking treadmill to get my steps in. So what I am doing, do as I say, not as I do, because this isn't a video call, this is me giving away some free training for the community. So I want to share things with you. Certainly, I see it every single week. These things are things that happen a lot. People just wave them off as not being important, but I want to give you 100% my word that these things are all important, guys. And if you're not doing them and you just brush them off and you just think it isn't affecting your career or your journey or your business, then guys, you're mistaken. So we're not talking about video calls with your gran or catching up with somebody in FaceTime when you're on holiday. This is important business calls. This could be a potential investor. It could be somebody giving you money. It could be a host or a rent-to-rent person you're working with. I want you to look at this as, what if you're jumping on and getting a video call? Eventually, they've got back to you. This letting agent is going to give you deal flow. It's been in the market for 20 years. You've finally got a video call with them. That investor that's got millions of pounds that you want to joint venture with, or even it's a mentor, somebody that you're paying time to get coaching calls with, or that's giving up their time to help you in some way, some member of a community or business group, an expert in your field, and they're giving up time. I want you to look at this as somebody super, super high end, not just catching up with a friend. And if we look at this as being somebody very important, that we value their time, we're happy to get that video call. Here's the 15 things that I see happening badly all of the time. And I'm going to share my knowledge on how to be a professional on video calls and come across, as Jordan Belfort says in his book and all his trainings on the straight line system, sharp as a tack. Jordan Belfort, by the way, the Wolf of Wall Street, but he shares all of his tips on how he did it in this. And coming across sharp as a tack, coming across as a professional that knows their stuff, instantly building trust. As they say, the first impression is developed by that other person very, very quickly. So how do we create that? I'm going to give you the tips. Let's just jump in. Number one here is be on time. That sounds obvious. So many people are late to calls. I'd say 25% of people are always late to calls. Think of anything you've been on. Most people turn up late in a lot of these groups. They just don't care about time, or they go to join and Zoom decides to update, guys. That's never an excuse. And I hear, oh, well, Zoom's updating. No, I had problems getting on. I had to restart my laptop, guys. This is just unacceptable and it's unprofessional. If you're dealing with an investor that's wanting to get hundreds of thousands of pounds off and you turn up late, they're instantly just going to view you as an idiot, somebody that can't get to a call on time. You're demonstrating that you're untrustworthy. You can't get to a call on time. If it's 1 o'clock and you're there at 6 minutes past, you don't have the ability to make that call and work things out. So why would they give you money? Why would they joint venture with you? That sounds harsh, guys, but let me just tell you how professionals and people with money, high net worth people, are going to view you when you turn up late. I have a rule: if anybody's more than 5 minutes late, I just end the call, and that's it. Opportunity finished. Done. I think when I use Google Meet, after 9 minutes, it says, are you still here? And if I'm multitasking and doing something else, I'll never go after 9 minutes. Professional people that we're talking about, investors, letting agents, I'm not just going to sit and wait for 10 minutes. And even if you did go on that call and you did wait, I'm not going to do business with you. That's irrelevant because somebody else will turn up on time. Number two is you need decent Wi-Fi. 50% of calls I go on in these group settings and group mentoring things, people running about with bad Wi-Fi. Guys, you're saying, I cannot get decent Wi-Fi. That is uncomprehendable. It's unfathomable by high net worth, successful people that you can't get Wi-Fi. Oh, well, they're changing the Wi-Fi. It's a bit of a black spot here. Guys, if you can't get Wi-Fi, how can you run a business? How can you get property developments done? How can you do deals? How can you be trustworthy if you can't get Wi-Fi? I couldn't comprehend it that people can't get Wi-Fi. This is how people are going to look, despite your circumstances, your individual reasons for not having Wi-Fi at that time. If you're jumping onto calls with bad Wi-Fi, you're just wasting an opportunity, coming across as unprofessional. This one, number three, is something every single person that's ever been on a call will have experienced. Somebody Probably you saying, "Oh, I'm on mute. Sorry." Somebody saying you're on mute, talking into a camera when you don't have the ability to notice you're on mute, and then you're scratching your head, and everybody's like, "You're on mute," and you're clicking. We laugh when it's other people, but it's devastating when it's us, if it happens to us. And these mistakes do happen. You're jumping onto a call with a high net worth individual and you can't work out the mute button and you're standing there like a buffoon. Well, I don't know. Where's the mute button? Where's the mute button on a video call? You can't work out where the mute button is on a video call. These guys are just going to be gone. They've checked out in their head. And if they don't just bounce, I'm never going to do business with you because you can't work out mute, how to unmute a video call. People that are doing business and on video calls all the time cannot comprehend why you don't have the ability to unmute yourself and you don't make sure you're unmuted when you jump onto a call when you're trying to build a professional image. That sounds harsh again, but guys, everybody has been on calls and we all forget to unmute ourselves sometimes. And it's devastating for me when I do it, or it automatically unmutes you if something happens. But guys, just don't get caught out with this one. It's the easiest one. Being able to mute yourself and unmute yourself is so easy. It's the easiest way to come across professional, but it's the biggest mistake. And you'll be laughing because we see it all of the time. You'll be on calls all the time where this happens. In fact, you'll probably never be on a group call where somebody should be on mute or isn't on mute and can't unmute themselves. Number 4 is work out how to use the system. If it's Zoom, then you need to log in and do different things. If it's Google Meet, you just jump on. If it's Microsoft, whatever that is, who knows with Microsoft? It could just do anything at any point in time. What's it called? I forget the name of Microsoft, but you may be on some obscure meeting system that is relevant to those guys. So Microsoft Teams. So you may be used to just doing your system. For us at Pillow, we use Google Meet and Zoom, but I've got a call after this. They're on Google Teams and I need to log in, make sure that's up to date. I'm going to log in and know my way around the system. Again, where's the mute button? How do I share my screen? How do I do all of these things? If you're trying to approach an agent or somebody to get JV finance and you're struggling and you're scratching your head, you're looking like a buffoon, oh, how do I share my screen? And where's the button? I'm doing it in my phone rather than my laptop and trying to share a file on a phone. That's just going to come across as unprofessional, guys. They're not going to get the money. So work out the systems. It takes 2 minutes to jump into Zoom, Teams, and Google Meet and work out how to share the screens, how to unmute yourself, how to make sure your video is there. So that is a nice, easy one. Just master the platform that you've got a call on. Even if that's going in 3-4 minutes before, making sure Zoom's updated and didn't cut you out, you know where the buttons are. Number 5 here is respect other people's time. If people are giving you a call, they say, I'm very open with my communications. How we're jumping on a call, we've got 20 minutes. I'm going to set an alarm for 15 so we can arrange 5 minutes of future actions. But at 20 minutes, I am jumping off. I have other calls. I'm back to back. I need to be away in 20 minutes. Is that okay? Or should we reschedule? If you're jumping into 22, 23, 24 minutes, oh, well, just one more thing. It's going to piss people off. You're coming across as unprofessional when you think you're just going to get the last word and squeeze a little bit more out of the call. High net worth individuals, investors, people that are worth millions of pounds. Time is a big, big commodity to them. And if you're pitching something, I mean, you've come across as unprofessional previously, you're just going to build up that resentment. So respect people's time, even if they go over. I like to say, oh, we said 20 minutes, guys. I respect your time. It's important to you. It's important to me. I'm going to end. We didn't cover everything. They might say, no, it's okay. I can give you another 5 minutes. So have those communications, come across as a professional. Next one, which is number 6, have a decent background. Now, I'm just here in the office and I'm moving about, but if I was on an investor call, I'd be sitting and have a nice background. I'm not going to have shadows. I'm not going to have the sun blaring in. I'm not going to be in silhouette. We don't need professional backgrounds like I have in the podcast studio. You just need to come across as a professional guy. Guys, don't have washing in the backgrounds. And I've seen people take calls and jump into the toilet because it's the only place you can get Wi-Fi. So have a decent background that makes you semi-professional. Don't have kids running about going, can't you shit everywhere in the background, or even in a busy cafe where people can listen into private conversations. So you matter, but your background matters as well. Number 7 here, no interruptions. We all have challenges in life. I'm in the office just now, somebody could come in. If I'm at home, the dogs would bark. If a parcel comes to the door, I put a sign in the door, do not knock this door under any circumstances. Put parcels in garage. So if I'm doing calls at home, I make sure there's no interruptions because the dogs will go crazy. The rescue dogs. Nobody wants to answer that chap that door. And if they do rattle the door for a package, I rip them to shreds. Can you read? Look at this. Don't answer. Do not knock the door. Put stuff in garage. So you need to control your environment. You need to make sure that you've no interruptions. That's easier said than done if you've got kids and you're multitasking and you're working around a job, building your property empire. But guys, we need to try and control that as much as possible. We want to be a professional. We don't want to come across somebody that's got carnage and can't manage time. Next one, decent sound. Well, I've been in a walking treadmill, so that's rattling about. I'm getting out of breath, so that's not been adhered to in this video. But guys, can the person hear you? Are you walking about and there's noise, or you're in the underground or on a bus or in a busy office? That's just going to piss professional people off. So make sure your sound's decent. I don't have it to hand, but if I am further away from the camera, I'll have a clip-on mic. These things cost 10 quid. So if you are in a busy place, you're putting headphones on, just make sure the person can hear you. You're coming across clear, because if somebody's straining to hear you over noise, you're not going to come across as professional. No multitasking, so we'll no here, we'll no get, preferably no get kids in my lap. Again, the other person might have kids in their lap, that's fine. We're working to the audience and we're creating synergies there, but we're not doing the opposite of what somebody would expect. Sorry, thank you for your time. I just need to go and the dinner's on, or I need to go and help the guy, the DIY guy. I need to show him in. Sorry, I'll just keep interrupting you and I'll keep doing different things like typing. So people are looking. That's a good thing about video calls. It's why we have them over voice calls. We can read loads of stuff about body language. We can look into people's eyes. We can build a genuine connection. If you're there, unless you're typing notes, again, I'm looking down because I've got my notes in the computer and I'm walking. So I'm looking about, making sure I don't fall off. But we're not doing several things at once, showing a little disrespect to that person that's given you their undivided time. Hi, because if they're a high net worth person, they're a professional, they're not going to be doing 3 or 4 things in the background. They're going to be listening to you. It's disrespectful not to listen to them back. Number 10 here is know your numbers in advance. Know your information that you're talking about. If you're going on asking for a deal and you've got, oh, what's my return? How much is it? Oh, I don't know yet, but I'll figure that out. I don't have that yet. If you're jumping onto a call, you need to come across as a professional. If you're umming and ahhing, let me check that. You may not know them automatically, but have something. Have a second computer, have an iPad, have something, have them written down that you know the information that they are going to be asking you. Don't be fumbling about like a buffoon saying, oh, I don't know that. So think of Dragon's Den when they ask them all these things. Think how you laugh at those people. They went on to Dragon's Den without having the questions answered that they know they're going to get asked these questions. They didn't have the profit and loss or the customer acquisition cost. They didn't have all this there in advance when they knew they were going to be asked. How stupid can they be? Don't get caught out like that. Next one, this is a nice bonus. So number 11, do your research on that person. So have a look, jump onto LinkedIn. I like to make sure I know who I'm talking to. Do these people, if they like rescue dogs, I can have an instant rapport with these people. If they like football, I know I'm not going to know about football, so I can know that in advance. So I'm finding out who they are, what are they like. I'm not using it to manipulate. I'm trying to find out a little bit about that person. If you're trying to get rent-to-rent deals off an agent, you're saying, oh, well, I saw it was your 10-year anniversary. Last week you've just opened another branch in the neighbouring city. You're finding out a little bit about them, and you're using that to build a connection and genuinely caring about that person. Also doing the research to make sure that they're a right fit for you. But if you're jumping on and saying, well, let's meet up next week, and you're like, no, I'm going to go away on honeymoon next week, I can, or all these things that you should know, then you don't want to be caught out. You want to know, plan in advance, but do your research on that person. You can find out a hell of a lot from LinkedIn and social media profiles. Next one is read their body language. Don't just keep firing in with your script or your approach if they're not buying it. So closed body language, short answers, closed answers, like no, yes, looking away, arms folded, not interested, itching to go. In person, you can see this by people's feet. There's 3 people in a little circle and people's feet are pointing in towards each other. They want to be there. But you can look, people's feet point towards the door. They want to exit. So the bottom half of their body is pointed away. but they're there because they don't want to be rude. So you can go into a room and read these things instantly. So read their body language. Is it a right fit? Are they going to do business? Are they looking at their watch, ready to go off? Are they saying, "Oh, listen, man, I'm dead busy. Or I need to go and do that." And you ignore it. Read the body language. You can get a lot from it. Number 13, practice. You want to role play this in advance. So if you're jumping onto a call with a high net worth individual, an agent, and you're at the start of your journey, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, practice. Get a friend, practice in front of a mirror. When we get our property managers to meet up in the initial training stages on calls, we pair them off, we do a little bit of role play. So for us as a property management company, knowing we're going to have calls and face-to-faces with owners, then we're role playing the most common objections so that it doesn't come as a shock to us. We've practiced it with tonality, how we say it, how we respond politely and confidently and professionally to potential criticisms or objections. So practice, practice, practice. This is going to make you uncomfortable, but it's much easier to practice with a family member or somebody else in the community at the same level. Somebody you're doing a favor. Hey, do us a favor. Do us a favor. I couldn't just ask you about some questions and answer them as if you're an arsehole, as if you're really aggressive, or ask them in a bad manner, saying no to me. Allow me to practice those. The more you do it, it's easier to do it with somebody like that than it is having it online or even in person. So, number 14, take all these questions, take all these objections, all the no's, list them, put them into a document so that you're prepared for next time. You've got a list of things that people are going to ask you, objections, and you can work around that. Don't just jump off the call and say, "Oh, shit, that was bad," or "I got ripped," or "that was good." What went well? What went bad? What can you practice to deliver better? So, what did you take from that call? Did I get very nervous and talk very fast? And again, in hindsight, if I had to go back and look at this, and I will probably do it again, I'll go back and I will not be on the treadmill making this, because every time I get passionate, the camera shakes. There's noise. I don't know how the noise is going to turn out. So this isn't a two-way conversation, but I'm going to go back and record this and say, I'm going to speak a little bit slower in some of these. I'm going to condense some of the sections, and I'm going to be a little bit more in depth in some of the sections. Just because I'm on the treadmill, I get passionate, I'm getting out of breath. I'm going to go back and say my tonality, my speech wasn't as good as it should be. I could make a much more professional training video by the camera not shaking about, having a better background over in the already designed podcast studio. And I'm not going to be on the treadmill, so I can sit and look at the camera, come across a lot more professional. Now, I'm just jumping on to do this in the bounds. But if this was a video going out to attract, if this was a training video for a team or a marketing video, I wouldn't be doing this. I would be re-recording this in a much better manner. But this maybe my practice. And finally, I want to share this resource. I did mention at the start, this book, The Way of the Wolf. Now, whether you like the selling practices and whether you like the film The Wolf of Wall Street is irrelevant, or you like Jordan Belfort, it doesn't matter. Some of the things in here, he said you want to come across as sharp as a tack. Meaning, if you're speaking to a multimillionaire and you're jumping on, or a billionaire, very experienced person in whatever you're trying to build connections with, you jump on, you come across as a buffoon, you're fucking messing about with mute. You can't work things. I've tried to share my slide there. I don't know how to work it. The door's going, they can't hear you, your Wi-Fi's cutting off. That is not sharp as a tack. That is as unprofessional and untrustworthy as you could possibly get. You want to read this book, probably get it for free online, you can probably watch YouTube things about it, and you can come across, your intention of jumping onto that call is coming across as sharp as a tack. Hi, well, thank you for asking that, because actually the number's this. Thank you for that. Oh no, I see you give this money to charity. Actually, that's close to my heart. You're prepared, you're professional, you don't get flustered when they ask you questions because you know the answer, and they leave thinking, yeah, that fucking sharp as a tack. That Scott's sharp as a tack. There wasn't anything I asked him that he didn't know. I want to move this forward. I want to find more information. So this whole being sharp as a tack summarizes everything I'm saying in this training. Guys, I hope you found this useful. So I'm going to jump off the treadmill, go and get a little bit of lunch, but this was my 15 tips for being a professional on video calls. All the things we've mentioned here are things I've seen, the tips, the rules, because I see them being broken every single week. Cheers, guys.